along to the Invincible podcast with my man, the judge himself. Lee Judge is in the building. How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah.
How's the summer going?
Well, yeah, apart from like cricket, it's not great. Do you know what? I'm going to say this now. I support probably three of the most frustrating teams in cricket, American football and football. Yorkshire, you know what I mean, can only lose games when in a winning position, like yesterday. Washington Redskins, they're rubbish, you know what I mean? And let's not talk about the Arsenal like that, really. So frustrating. Like.
But Washington Redskins?
Yeah.
I thought you'd be a LA Rams supporter.
I hate the Rams.
You should be a LA Rams.
No.
The owner of Arsenal owns the LA Rams. You should be a LA Rams supporter.
Yeah. Well, you know, they're the best team in the NFL. They are.
Well, they are. Yeah, unlike his football team, Arsenal, the LA Rams are the best team in the NFL. They won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And did you see, actually, as you know what, this is very relevant to the fact that we're into the transfer season, of course, and we're all here talking about, we were talking last week about Serge Gnabry, for instance.
Yeah.
And I was looking in the comments and people are going, what are they on?
What
are Robbie and Leon? How the hell
deluded
are Arsenal? Yeah, they're deluded.
Yeah.
How the hell are Arsenal going to be able to afford to buy Serge Gnabry and his wages? He wants 200 grand a week. But yet still, we look over to America, across the pond, and the LA Rams, and they've just put in, I think it's Cooper Kupp, the quarterback, has just signed a mega, or is he the quarterback? But Cooper Kupp anyway, one of their star players, has just signed a mega contract.
Yeah.
And there was, what's the other player's name? Donald, that's it, yeah. He's just signed like one of the biggest deals in NFL.
The biggest?
The biggest deal in NFL history. Both of them for the LA Rams, who won the Super Bowl.
And who are owned by Mr. Stanley Kroenke.
Yeah. And it's certainly not, you know, scrimping on the savings over there.
Not at all.
On the spending, should I say, over there in Los Angeles, aren't they? They're going big.
Big, and the ambition. So forget about it being big. And by the way, Donald is the biggest, highest paid player outside a quarterback. So
in NFL history.
In NFL history. So that just shows you. So when, you know, forget about the money side of it. There's an ambition from that man that I don't see at Arsenal. I don't see the same ambition. And that's what frustrates me as an Arsenal fan now. Like, you know, here we are in the summer, and by the way, it is the summer. Nothing else for Arsenal fans at this moment in time. Right? It's not.
It's still early.
It's still early. It's still early, you know. But we'll be saying that it's late.
It's still early, but Tottenham have made two signings. But it's still early, yeah.
It's still early, but signings. I honestly thought with Arsenal, I don't know how you feel about this, Rob. When the disappointment of the season's finished, you've got a chairman that's saying, or a chairman's son or owner's son saying we're going to be excited and all that. Well, give us something to be excited about, like, you know what I mean? Go, look, they're disappointed, that lot. Instead of bringing out the shirt as they do, like, let's bring out a signing with it as well. And there's nothing there, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and I am disappointed, like, when you hear what people and comments about Gnabry. If I'll be honest, he's got 1 year left of his contract. You know what I mean? They're trying to sign Marnie, so what does that tell you? And we're not. It's not realistic. It's not realistic for Arsenal. Well, I think it is realistic when you spend 75 or 72 million pound on Pepe. So we have got them. We can do it.
Do you know? I think I can't remember if it was this show or another show that I spoke about this same thing with the Kroenkes, right? It's what are your plans? What do you want to do with Arsenal?
Yeah.
If your plan is specifically to win the league in the next how many years or next, and we haven't won it for over 20 years.
Yeah.
What are your plans to do that realistically? Because at the moment, with the team we've got, we ain't winning the league. Unless of some luck, we ain't winning the league. Let's be real about it, right? With our teams are spending money, and I want to win the league, you want to win the league. And to me, when you own a great club like Arsenal, that is a club that should be positioned to challenge to try and win the league. With the American football team, the LA Rams, he had a specific plan a few years ago to win the Super Bowl. He went out there and he brought in the players. He foregoed some draft picks to bring in the players that would, within a short space of time, win him the Super Bowl. First of all, the plans worked because they got to the final of the Super Bowl a few seasons ago, but didn't win it, but they challenged for the Super Bowl. LA Rams that hadn't been challenging, right? Then now they kept going, they added a couple more and they won the Super Bowl. Now, after winning the Super Bowl last year, they are now going again by making sure that they put these deals together, mega deals. The biggest deal ever, like you said, for a player, I think he's a defensive player who's not a quarterback in NFL history because he wants to try and win that Super Bowl again. So I see clear ambition there. I see clear vision that they want to win the Super Bowl. Maybe they might not, but there's a clear plan, 100%. Strategy to win it. Just like we've seen with Man City this season, they brought in Haaland and Alvarez. That's a clear statement that they're going again. They're going again for the Premier League. They're going for the Champions League. With Arsenal now, if you just go out there and you just buy a couple little players here and there, your aim is not to win the league or challenge for the league. Let's be real.
Listen, we're going into at this moment, and you can talk about transfers as much as you like and whatever. Come August, as an Arsenal fan, I know that I'm going into that season hoping that maybe we could get a top 4 challenge, maybe. But it ain't going to be like the excitement of we're going to be able to challenge Liverpool and Manchester City this season. It's not, it's not going to happen. And it disappoints me that we're going to be also runs again, listen, it pains me to say that, I'm getting bantered every day by Tottenham fans, you know what I mean, and whatever. But ultimately, they're showing more ambition than us, and
it's still early. It's still
early, but ultimately, they are showing more ambition than us to do well. And you can turn around and go, they've got Champions League or whatever like that. Ultimately, I don't want no excuses no more. I'm sorry. I'm out of excuses for the manager, for the owners, and everything like that. Come the end of this transfer window, I want to see a proper team out there on August the 6th. If that's the day, that's when the season starts that weekend. I want to sit. So I'll sit on my seat, whether it's at home or away, thinking, I feel that I have got a chance. We're going to win this game. I go to games not knowing that, Robbie. I go to away games at Liverpool, Manchester City, Man United, Tottenham, thinking if we can get a point, I'll be happy.
Everton.
Yeah, Everton. Yeah, right. But I want to sit in my seat thinking, right, we have got a chance of winning games of football. I want to go, when we go on tour, I want to see the players on tour playing, not being negotiated back here and all that, and then by the end of August, when we're 10 points off of the pace already, these players are coming in like it's happened before, you know what I mean? Everybody now at that football club has got a responsibility to do their jobs properly to get that team ready for the 6th of August.
I think when you look on it, it's quite clear. You see a clear ambition when it comes to the LA Rams.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't see that when it comes to Arsenal. And I'm sorry, right? That shows me that he's not treating the two teams in the same way. A lot of people will say, well, yeah, but Robbie, that's obvious. You know what I mean? His main team's the LA Rams. And then go and run that then.
Yeah.
Because all I'm concerned with is Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm not an LA Rams fan. I'm an Arsenal fan. I know he's the owner of what they call a franchise, but this is what upsets us, right? We want you to show the 100%. Same ambition, because just like the LA Rams is a huge club in a huge city in America, you've got a huge club in a huge city in England, in Europe, and I don't think he's showing the same sort of ambition when it comes down to Arsenal. And that's proven. It's not just us hating on him. That's proven over the years. That's like what he shows with the LA Rams. He has this summer where he could prove to us, I know there's no Champions League football, but he could prove to us by spending in similar ways and showing a similar ambition and saying, right, you know what, I'm going to construct a team.
Yeah, that's going to go.
I'm going to give the manager what he needs, and I'm going to construct a team that will challenge for the Premier League. So I'm going to give him Serge Gnabry. I'm going to give him Gabriel Jesus. I'm going to give him Yuri Tielemans. I'm going to give him Basuma. He needs a defensive midfielder. I'm going to give him the backup left back. And you know what? After that, I'm going to set Mikel Arteta a clear target. I want to be challenging for the league this season. I want to win a trophy this season. And if I don't, and I need to get into the Champions League. And if you don't do that, we're going to be looking very dimly at you as well. That's how I want to see Arsenal run.
And that's how it should be run.
That's how but it doesn't appear to me that it is running that way. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Last year, he forked out £150 million on signings. We needed that because we were so short. But really and truly, if we are to mount some serious challenges, even on the top four, we got to go again this season.
Yeah,
There's no point in saying, last year he gave us... That's last year. We know the team is well short. Has to bring in quality to the team to challenge. And you make a great point when you're talking, the American football thing, he's showing that. If you went to LA, it'd probably be a complete contrast to speaking to an Arsenal fan in London.
And the other thing is, that's on top of the stadium build that he's built there.
Brand new stadium.
You know what I mean?
I forgot about that.
So what frustrates me as a fan is that my owner is skinflinting over here. Right, and I don't care what anybody says, we are paying top money, like most clubs, most fans in all the clubs at this moment in time, paying top money. You know what I mean? They expect you to go and buy the shirt, which is £100 for the plain shirt. You know what I mean? Like every year now, they're expected to do that 3 times with the home and away and the third kit as well. And then at the end of it, show me something now that I want to go. I forget about kits. I'm not interested. What players? I'll be honest. I'm not interested in what players we get. I want as long as they're players that are gonna. When I sit down next season, I'm going to see a team challenging, and not fans, not anybody, not the manager, not anybody making any excuses when things are not right on there. You know what I mean? Because that's what they're, the teams, the forward line's too young, this and that, you know what I mean? They're young, they're this and that. You know that they're young from last season. You now know what you've got to do to make that team better. I expect that to be seen. And if it's not, then then you know exactly what's coming. You know exactly what's coming, and I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah, but the thing is, we'll blame the manager. But if the manager's if he's not been given the right tools... because let's be real.
Then he's never going to be given the right tools.
I don't think he was given the right...
He wasn't given the right tools last season.
He didn't have the right tools last season. He had tools to get beyond what he'd done the previous season of 8th place, which he did, got into 5th. But if tools to get into the top 4, he needs more. Tools to challenge for the Premier League, he needs more. And we're not just talking about prayers and miracles.
So I look at Mikel Arteta and I'll go along with that, right? You know what I mean? If you're not being given the tools, right? Okay, then you know what's coming. You know what's coming. You're going to get sacked, right?
Yeah.
So you might as well just get out of there if that's the case. Because I'm telling you that 2 things happen with that. With Mikel signed that new contract now, right? What it will tell us if he's a cheap option, right? Or they actually do believe that he is the real deal.
Well, I think we'll find out this summer.
We'll find out this summer, exactly. Because I'm not too sure what he is, if I'll be honest. So, talking to a fella today, at a coffee shop, was talking about football. And he turned around and said, and it's a great thing, he goes, what do you think of Arteta? And I said, well, what do you think? He goes, it changes like the wind for me. Because, you're not too sure of him one week to the next and whatever, you know what I mean? And I said, I'm the same, you know what I mean? So I don't want that. We don't want that no more. You want to put your hat. I want to put my hat on the manager to get me where I want to go, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but in the manager's defence, as I said, he needs the tools.
Yeah.
He needs the tools, and if he doesn't have the right tools,
then you know what's coming. You know you're not going to be anywhere. You know what's going to be there.
And this is the summer now. I think this is a big summer for Arsenal, and I think they have to back. You know, you've given him a new contract. Back him with the side. And I think personally, we did the show last week, 150 mil. And it weren't enough.
No, it wasn't enough.
It weren't enough.
It was a great show, by the way, with great response.
It was a great response.
It was a great response to it. And basically, it told you, in a nutshell, that 150 million is not going to be good enough.
Probably going to have to give them about 200 mil to spend if they really.
Now,
they've done it in America.
They've done it in America. They've just give two players that money. You know what I mean? Like, now, you know. And this is without selling players. You know, there's 4 or 5 players at this football club that are surplus to requirements because of whatever you think of Mikel or whatever. So they need to be taken out of the equation, and the money pumped back into the side. And I don't care what anybody says. You know, like Ty was arguing about it on the Don Robbie show on Saturday about Saka. It will come. It won't happen this season, but within the next year or so. And, you know, you cannot keep turning around and saying, oh, he's going to sign because he's a Howin boy and he's like, but he will want to move. Now, I was talking about this.
Footballer.
Harry Kane has been in a Champions League final with Spurs. He's come through the ranks of Spurs. He's been in a final with them as well. But ultimately, played in the Champions League as well, wanted to leave. We've got a player at this moment in Saka who's like one of the biggest top young players coming through.
Starting for England.
Has not played in the Champions League yet. Right, he's not going to play in a Champions League final. He's played in a cup final, which he was, by the way, he was a sub. Right, you know, he's going to want those things, Robbie. Like, he'll want them with Arsenal. But even when Harry Kane had them with Tottenham, he still wanted to leave. Now he has got to at some stage get them with Arsenal. Otherwise, he's going to go. And do you know what? I ain't going to criticise him for it if he wants that.
Player of the season.
2 years on the spin, 20 years of age.
Player of the season at 20 years of age.
Which is a joke, by the way. A 20-year is embarrassing for other players at their football club that a 20-year-old is dominating our football club. Yeah. He shouldn't be that. He should be learning his trade and everything like that. Where is the senior players taking responsibility of this?
True.
You know, I look at it, it's great for him, but there's no way a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old should be winning Player of the Year at Arsenal. Never. Where you know what I mean?
Should be winning Young Player of the Year.
Huh?
Young Player of the Year, not Player of the Year.
Well, no, he's Player of the Year this season for Arsenal.
No, that's what I'm saying. He should be winning Young Player.
He should be like a senior player of 25, 26 should be doing that, you know? Did Reyes, who was a fantastic player at 19, win that? Fabregas, when the likes of Henry and all that were in? No, they weren't. You know, but now we've got...
it now, wouldn't they?
We'll walk it. You know what I mean? So it's great as it's for Saka, it just shows you how far we are down, you know what I mean?
And like you said, you know, Halen boy loves Arsenal. His family's always at all the games. You see them all the time. Lovely people. He's come all the way through the ranks. He's doing big things at Arsenal. He's starting for England, a regular starter for England. But it will come a stage. He's a professional footballer. It's their profession. They've been doing it since they were like 6, 7 years old. Training 4 or 5 times a week, you know, and it can go the other way as well. If they're not playing well, they're out the door. Get an injury, someone else comes in, you could be out. Fans, you could drop off in form. Yeah. Fans can be calling and saying, Saka ain't all that, bring in such and such to replace him. So they're professionals, so they think to themselves, after a while, I want to win something. I want to win a trophy. I want to play in the Champions League. All my mates... When I get on the phone, a thing of Phil Foden, he's telling me how brilliant it was playing in the semi-final against Real Madrid and things like that. I want some of that,
100%.
right? So 100%. We've got to match the ambitions of Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli. These are all guys that if we don't do that, they will be vulnerable. They will be vulnerable. They will be, you know what I mean? Martinelli, we know Brazilian players, how passionate they are about playing for their country. This is a World Cup year, right? He wants to be in that World Cup squad. All right, it might come too early for him because he's still young, even though he's burst into the squad. But in years to come now, he's looking on it and saying to himself, well, I want to be a regular for Brazil. But if you're not in the Champions League and say other players are, you're not going to get in there because there's so much competition. It's why you see a player like Rafinha, who's absolutely adored at Leeds. But
Richarlison is also
but they want Richarlison, but they all want to go because they're looking at like Barcelona saying that, and then I'll be able to play for Brazil. Richarlison, I want to play in the Champions League. So if in long term we're going to hang on to these players, you're rightly, and this is what the Kroenkes and everybody around, they need to look at this now. Start matching the ambition of the players, but also the fans. I want to be ambitious again. I don't want to be this, hopefully we can get the top 4 and that's it. But somebody said to me the other day, you lot used to moan about getting into the top 4 and now you're desperate to get into the top 4. How ironic is that? And so I said, no, but I've got to listen. You got to take things in context. We were used to winning titles, right? Yeah. And we were in the Champions League, but when we were in the Champions League, our ambition was to win it. So at the end of the season, being told that, top 4 is a trophy and stuff like that, didn't wash with us because we wanted to win trophies and we wanted to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
We got to a final of a Champions League before, remember, right? So that was the context of that. Now we've sunk so badly down, finishing 8th twice. Finishing that, we haven't been in the top 4. How many years is it now? 5?
5 years.
For 5 years, that now we're just desperate to get back in it because that's the first stage for us, is like in trying to get back. But don't do it in the context of things. This is a huge club, Arsenal. We used to win titles on a regular. FA Cups, we've won it the most times. Champions League, we were a regular in the Champions League. And we were a team that we want to be in it and competing to win it. But I don't know if the owners think that way. Maybe they just, I've just over the years got the impression that they just want to be in it for the money.
And that's a great point. Are they in it for the money? Because I can tell you this now, there's a lot of Arsenal fans out there, and I tip my hat to them this season, believing in the process, believing in everything, believing in the young players. But I tell you this now, if it comes to it in a couple of years' time, they will sell Saka, they will sell him. All that belief of, we're going to back the youth team and all that. If they do that, then there's going to be ruptions at this football club.
But part of backing the youth is, like you said, is backing them by surrounding them with
as a fan,
quality players.
The fans are backing that. The fans are actually saying, do you know what, Mikel? It's all right you've come 5th this season. Despite Spurs have come above us, there's a lot of fans out there that you can call them what you want. We look at the positive in it. We've improved.
Yeah, because we see a process.
So they see the process, and I get that. They see it, and they believe in it, right? So if you then in a year's time or 2 years' time sell that player, you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure that these fans are not going to be happy because they're putting their heart and soul into backing this process at this moment in time.
How I'm looking at right, so this is how I look at it. I look at the process like this. We dropped out of the Champions League. We lost. Arsene Wenger went. There was always going to be a process to try and get back. Emery came in, didn't work out. We brought in, Ljungberg came in for a little bit, didn't work out. Arteta's come in now. And they've basically gone with a new model. They've said, what we did under Emery didn't work. Now we're going to go with a new model of kind of starting from the ground up. So we're starting with young guys. We're getting rid of a load of the players that have been here for a long time, have grown stale within the club. We need to shift them out, get rid of some of those ridiculous wages, get rid of players that are not really hungry anymore. They've lost their hunger. So that's why they got rid of the Aubameyangs and the Ozils and the people like that and certain other high earners, the Kolasinac's, and they've done that, right? So I get that part of the process. Then they've said, right, we're bringing through youth and we're bringing through young, hungry players and I get that. So, Tommy Yasu's and Ben White and I get that. So that's all been part of a process. And we improved. We went from 8th 2 seasons in a row, won FA Cup in the meantime, and then we've risen up just on the small margins, but just on the verge of getting back into European football, and we just fell short with the youth. But now, what's next? What's next? Yeah. Because I back that first part, and I understand that first part, because sometimes when you sink low, you have to have a way of starting to come back. But we were on the verge of top 4. What's next? For me, the next thing should be right now, we are getting top 4 next season.
Yeah.
So first of all, you got to give the manager a team that gets top 4, right? And the team we got at the moment won't get top 4. And if you just had 1 or 2, it won't get top 4 either, right? Because everybody else is strengthening, right? Then if it's me, I'm like, plus as well, I want to give a good, I'm not saying we're going to win the league next year, because we won't. Let's be real. When you see how some of them teams are strong. But I want to give a good fight.
Yeah, I want to
count. Yeah. I want to, when we go away to City, or when we play City home and away, we're giving them I know we played well against them at home, but we're going to give them, trust me, they're going to know they're in a game. And Liverpool and Chelsea, they're going to know they're in a game when they play us. They're coming to a different Arsenal.
Yeah.
And to do, if that's the ambition, you've got to spend.
Yeah.
The next, you've done the stage of the young players and that, but now it's that stage of now adding real top quality. And it can't be just 1 or 2. It can't just be, say, Jesus and Tielemans and that's it.
No, and
it won't be enough.
And that's the thing, we're going back into the circle of it all. Like when you turn around and go, we haven't got the money and all that. Well, when you look at it over in the pond, they're spending it. So that excuse is not there. When you're doing it over there, you're the owner of Arsenal Football Club as well, which is by far a bigger club than the Rams in the context of
as a worldwide
NFL.
brand, yeah.
Right. So there's no excuses. So I can say there's no excuses from the owner, there's no excuses from the manager, and there's no excuses from the players now. Everybody now has got to get... I expect Arsenal to be challenging for top 4 next season. And a trophy. And then after that, I expect us to be challenging the likes of Liverpool and Manchester City to try and win the title.
Lee, I think it would be very reasonable as a fan to say, because we speak about the process, it'd be very reasonable as a fan to say, right, the first part of the process has been getting us back, and that's first part of the process is done. But this year 4,
yeah. I
year 4 of Mikel Arteta's reign, I'm the owner. This is what I'm saying. I want top 4 and a trophy next season.
Well, as a fan, I want
top 4, and as a fan, I want top 4 and a trophy, and I want to make a good fist of it when we're playing those teams that were in the top 4 last year. Which, by the way, we didn't do well enough against those teams, right? So I want to see that. That's the next stage, and then in year 5. Challenging for the league.
Yeah.
Is that unreasonable? I don't know. I want to speak to people out there who are listening to this podcast or are watching this. Is that unreasonable? What do you think? Because to me, that's the process.
Done.
The process has been the first 3 years getting back. And well done, Miko. You won an FA Cup in that time. You got verge of top 4 last year. Could have, I think, maybe you could. But anyway, forget that. You didn't. You got us back into European football. All right, stage 1. But stage 2 of the process, Champions League football, a trophy, and really showing everybody that we're back. 5 of the trophy in the 5th year, challenging to win the league.
I'm with you now. The next 2 years.
I trust that process. Yeah, if that's the process.
That's the process. And I'll tell you what, Arsenal fans have been more impatient, and now it's time to deliver. And at first, it's now up to this summer. It starts this summer. Let's see what you've got. And we'll come back here on the beginning of the August, and we'll sit down and we'll discuss where we're going to be.
We'll
see. But at this moment in time,
Lacazette's left, of course.
Yes.
Gone back to Lyon.
Success or failure?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you.
Failure. For me, I love him. I loved him as a player.
Failure's a bit harsh,
but 5 years he's been here. Didn't play Champions League football at Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah. Do you look on it and say to yourself, I just remember when he first came in, and I was very frustrated because he never ever. You remember, he's always the first one substituted. Remember that? They always take him off. And I remember a lot of times being at the Emirates in particular, and fans getting frustrated with Arsenal thinking, "Why are you taking him off for?" Didn't you think he never got going there? And then into the next season now we go and buy Aubameyang. So then Aubameyang's the main man, and he's the sort of like they struck up a good partnership, and he was sort of that selfless guy, providing a lot of things for Aubameyang. And then Aubameyang leaves, and then he's still that selfless guy that's there providing things for everybody else. But when you look at his goal stats and goal returns as a striker, you just look at it and say not good enough. But a lot of that time he was having to be selfless or not being played.
I just think with Lacazette, you know, I mean, I look at it very, very much like it'd be looked back with fondness because of, you know, his attitude and that. Great couple of songs, by the way, that we sung about him. Two of the best songs that going out there. So that's a shame that they won't be sung no more. But I look at him very, very similar to Podolski, number 9, that never quite lived up to to it. If I'll be really honest,
good comparison.
But a favourite, fans' favourite.
Yep.
But ultimately, the number 9 on your shirt, it's a target. Goals. Winning games. Them two players never quite done it. Done it every now and then, but you wouldn't put your out on it, would you? And that's the way I see it. Like, you know what I mean? And I listen, will he go down as one of the best strikers at Arsenal? No, he won't. You know what I mean? Won't even be in the top 5. Nowhere near. So when people go, "Oh, he's great" and all that, like, you know,
no, he weren't great.
No,
I'd say he was good.
He was good,
but he weren't great.
But ultimately, you know, it's very harsh me saying this because I really do like him as a player.
I like him as well, and that's the thing about it.
Industry and work rate and everything.
Yeah,
was
you
great.
don't want to find.
You don't really want to slag him off, if you be honest, do we? You don't really want to criticise him.
No.
But ultimately,
he didn't score enough goals.
No.
He's a striker.
He come in here, you know, to fire us back into the Champions League. If I be really honest, if you're looking at it, he didn't do that.
No.
And it's very, very harsh. Really, as I say, I really liked him as a player. But again, you know, I look at him very much like Podolski. I really like Podolski, but he weren't the answer there.
Yeah.
There's been better, you know, he's better.
Even
French
you'd have
forward.
to say Giroud was better at Arsenal.
Giroud was better.
Was better at Arsenal.
Will Todd was better.
Yep.
Henry was better. Anelka was better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 4 Frenchmen in front of him, and that's like not just all time.
He's ahead of Shamak though.
Yeah, he wasn't French though, was he? Like, you know what I mean? So, but listen,
he did come from France.
Yeah, he come from France, but like, you know, he just for me epitomises the 5 years that we've had at Arsenal. Just not good enough. It's not been good enough as a 5-year period at the club. That's not his fault. All of it is his fault. I'm going to say that. He had a very, very good year under Emery, by the way.
Yeah.
But ultimately, just not quite. And but at the end of the day, listen, I don't think anybody is tearing their hair out, pardon the punt.
And I don't think
he's staying. Like, do you know what I mean?
And I don't think no one's got a bad word to say about him as well,
and that's that. I feel very harsh criticising him.
Yeah,
I do. You know what I mean? Like,
listen, I think if you was to sit down, I've met him before a couple of times. A really nice guy, and I think a very honest guy. And I think if you used to sit down with him and say, "What was your time like at Arsenal?" He'd probably be similar to what we're saying. Probably say, you know, I really loved it, really enjoyed it, had a good rapport with the fans, but I wish I would have done a bit better. I wish it didn't quite happen for me at Arsenal, and that's the truth. And you know, but good luck to him. Good luck to him in the future, and it's going to be who replaces him. I mean, there's 2 players that have been linked, right? And I want to ask you, out of these 2 players, which ones would you have? Gabriel or Richarlison? Gabriel Jesus or Richarlison?
You might think I'm mad here, but I'm going to go Richarlison.
Ooh!
I think that he's...
Ooh!
And I'll tell you why.
You know what? So that's exactly what I did. And I said that on a stream. I got hammered.
I'll tell you why. My only reasons why is because he's doing it in a time that ain't great. You know, when you look at Jesus, he's got all the surroundings of players around him to really have been 20, 30 goals.
Yeah.
Didn't quite do it. For whatever reason,
he doesn't start every week.
Doesn't start every week, but he's had all those tools around him. Like, you know, Richarlison's not had that. He's had a good little spell at Watford, and I just feel that he creates a lot of mayhem, free kicks and things like that. Out of the two, if I had a choice, that's the one I would go with.
I agree with you. And I said it the other day on the stream. I got absolutely hammered.
Well, we're going to get hammered again then. Like, you know what I mean? There you go.
You know, I think a lot of it was Richarlison's, all the little antics, innit? A lot of people don't like that, the diving and the stuff. I don't like it either. But
listen,
he's a good
it's all right
player.
for Song, isn't it? He gets away with it. You know what I mean? Like, no,
True.
you know.
Yeah.
Listen,
I like him. I think he's and he's good in the air. I think he's a very good player, and I agree with you. He's in a better team, he'd shine more.
Yeah, and also you're not there for popularity. Listen, you know, Song. Let's just talk about him for a second. He never got in the PFA Player of the Year awards, right? Harry Kane did, right? And the reason was because he dives around and does all those little nasty little tricks and all that, like, you know what I mean? But ultimately, he gets the performances and results for his club. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what Richarlison does at Everton. You know what I mean? He gets things like that.
If it weren't for him, Everton wouldn't have stayed up.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, and I like a little bit of that, if I'll be honest. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like it against us. Well, exactly, I don't like it with Song. But listen, he got Holding sent off. Whether you think Holding done it or not, he helped that situation.
He was streetwise, wasn't he?
I actually see a clip the other day with Ronaldo and Lampard having a clash. Lampard getting up and just shaking his hand, not rolling around and all that. And if he had a roll around, then maybe Ronaldo would have got sent off. But ultimately, that's what Richarlison does and what Song does. And I think it's the new generation of footballer. So whether you like it or whether you're not, I just think he'd be a better, for me, that little bit more for it. Because I look at Everton and they've struggled. He wants to leave, by the way. Apparently,
yeah, he wants to leave.
So,
although he does want to play Champions League, so that Champions League blowing that has really messed us up with a lot of players, you know, because there's a lot of players out there that like, well, I want to play Champions League, and we don't have that. But money can persuade people otherwise. I mean, so
and I say this now, you know what I mean? Tottenham have got Champions League this year. Manchester United had it the year before. If you're going to go to, I'll say this now, if you want to be guaranteed Champions League football, don't come to the Premier League. Go to France. Go to Spain or Germany, where you know that if you play for Bayern Munich, you're going to get in the top 3 or 4. You know you're going to get in the top 3 or 4 in Spain. Look how poor Barcelona have been this season. You know what I mean? It's going to come second. You know what I mean? If you want to play Champions League football, I suggest you don't play in the Premier League because, you know, Man United were in it last season. They're out of it. Tottenham are in it this season. They've been out of it the last 3 or 4 years. Unless you want to play Premier League football, you either sign for Manchester City or Chelsea. That's the only two. Liverpool last season only got scraped through on it.
Scraped through.
So if you want to play, when players say they want to play Champions League football, that's it. Don't play Premier League football. Then.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, he might not because the PSG are interested in. But I'll put it out there to you guys. Gabriel Jesus or Richarlison?
Which one you going for?
Which one would you rather have at Arsenal if they were both saying they were coming? Have both. But you're not allowed to have both. You only have to have one. Listen, Lee, thank you very much.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Enjoyed that. You're on form as usual, always. Don't forget to subscribe here to AFTV. Like this video as well. Don't forget to check out AFTV Transfer daily, every day. Lee's favourite show, right?
People were saying like he's going to get sacked after saying criticising.
I didn't like the way you disrespected that show then. You know what I mean? But no, listen.
I was waiting for the call.
The numbers have been incredible on the show. You know what I mean? We're keeping you up to date with all the players that have been linked. And like Lee said, let's hope we can get some good ones because we need it this season. Thanks, and we'll see you next week. The Invincible podcast. Myself, Robbie, and Lee Judges come together once a week to discuss all things Arsenal. Straight talking, considered discussion, brought to you by the fans of the only club in Football League history to go invincible.